The man whose love is the same for his enemies or his friends, whose soul is the same in honor or disgrace, who is beyond heat or cold, or pleasure or pain, who is free from the chains of attachments, who is balanced in blame and in praise, whose soul is silent, who is happy with whatever he has, whose home is not in this world, and who has love. This man is dear to me. But even dearer to me are those who have faith and love, and who have me as their end supreme. Those who hear my words of truth, and who come to the waters of everlasting life.
In tonight's Inner Space, we are to hear another selection of texts from the Bhagavad Gita, read by Michel Habib. The Bhagavad Gita, Song of the Lord, is one of the greatest poems of Sanskrit literature. It is the part of the Mahabharata epic, written about 500 years BC, though the exact date of its origin is not known. It covers many aspects of Hindu religious thought, dealing with life and life eternal, the spiritual struggle of the soul, and the importance of love. Love, light, and life are the three central themes of the poem. Some 700 verses of this immortal text consists of a dialogue on a field of battle between Prince Arjuna and the god Krishna. We are going to hear the words of Lord Krishna from chapters 7, 12, 13, 16, and 18. Reading this ancient text, I found it most inspiring for the needs of today's life as well. There's nothing ancient or obsolete in that philosophy of life, and its poetic quality is fresh and always satisfying. I hope you'll also find the words of Lord Krishna to be a great source of inspiration and enjoyment. The theme of love is as everlasting as the need for it. The words of Lord Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita, narrated by Michel Habib. They were translated by Juan Mascaro. The Bhagavad Gita, Song of the Lord.
Among thousands of men, perhaps one strives for perfection. And among thousands of those who strive, perhaps one knows me in truth. The visible forms of my nature are 8: earth, water, fire, air, ether, the mind, reason, and the sense of I. But beyond my visible nature is my invisible spirit. This is the fountain of life, whereby this universe has its being. All things have their life in this life, and I am their beginning and end. In this whole vast universe, there is nothing higher than I. All the worlds have their rest in me, as many pearls upon a string. I am the taste of living waters and the light of the sun and the moon. I am Om, the sacred word of the Vedas. Sound in silence. Heroism in men. I am the pure fragrance that comes from the earth, and the brightness of fire I am. I am the life of all living beings, and the austere life of those who train their souls. And I am from everlasting the seed of eternal life. I am the intelligence of the intelligent. I am the beauty of the beautiful. I am the power of those who are strong. When this power is free from passions and selfish desires, I am desire when this is pure, when this desire is not against righteousness. And know that the three gunas, the three states of the soul, come from me. Peaceful light, restless life, and lifeless darkness. But I am not in them. They are in me. How the whole world is under the delusion of these shadows of the soul, and knows not me, though forever I am. My mysterious cloud of appearance is hard to pass beyond. But those who in truth come to me go beyond the world of shadows. But men who do evil seek not me. Their soul is darkened by delusion. Their vision is veiled by the cloud of appearance. Their heart has chosen the path of evil. There are 4 kinds of men who are good, and the 4 love me. The man of sorrows, the seeker of knowledge, the seeker of something he treasures, and the man of vision. The greatest of these is the man of vision, who is ever one, who loves the one. For I love the man of vision, and the man of vision loves me. These 4 kinds of men are good, but the man of vision and I are one. His whole soul is one in me, and I am his path supreme. At the end of many lives, the man of vision comes to me. God is all, this great man says. Such a spirit sublime, how rarely is he found. Men whose desires have clouded their vision give their love to other gods, and led by their selfish nature, follow many other paths. For if a man desires with faith to adore this or that god, I give faith unto that man, a faith that is firm and moves not. And when this man, full of faith, goes and adores that God, from him he attains his desires. But whatever is good comes from me. But these are men of little wisdom, and the good they want has an end. Those who love the gods go to the gods, but those who love me come unto me. The unwise think that I am that form of my lower nature which is seen by mortal eyes. They know not my higher nature, imperishable and supreme. For my glory is not seen by all. I am hidden by my veil of mystery, and in its delusion the world knows me not, who was never born, and forever I am. I know all that was and is to come, but no one in truth knows me. All beings are born in delusion, the delusion of division, which comes from desire and hate. But there are men who do what is good, and whose sins have come to an end. They are free from the delusion of division, and they worship me with all their soul. For those who take refuge in me and strive to be free from age and death, they know Brahman, they know Atman, and they know what karma is. They know me in earth and in heaven, and in the fire of sacrifice. Their souls are pure, in harmony, and even when their time to go comes, they see me. The man who has good will for all, who is friendly and has compassion, who has no thoughts of I or mine, whose peace is the same in pleasures and sorrows, and who is forgiving. This yogi of union, ever full of my joy, whose soul is in harmony and whose determination is strong, whose mind and inner vision are set on me. This man loves me, and he is dear to me. He whose peace is not shaken by others, and before whom other people find peace, beyond excitement and anger and fear, he is dear to me. He who is free from vain expectations, who is pure, who is wise and knows what to do, who in inner peace watches both sides, who shakes not, who works for God and not for himself. This man loves me. And he is dear to me. He who feels neither excitement nor repulsion, who complains not and lusts not for things, who is beyond good and evil, and who has love, he is dear to me. The man who has good will for all, who is friendly and has compassion, who has no thoughts of I or mine, whose peace is the same in pleasures and sorrows, and who is forgiving. This yogi of union, ever full of my joy, the man whose love is the same for his enemies or his friends, whose soul is the same in honor or disgrace, who is beyond heat or cold, or pleasure or pain, who is free from the chains of attachments, who is balanced in blame and in praise, whose soul is silent, who is happy with whatever he has, whose home is not in this world, and who has love. This man is dear to me. But even dearer to me are those who have faith and love, and who have me as their end supreme. Those who hear my words of truth, and who come to the waters of everlasting life. even dearer to me are those who have faith and love, and who have me as their end supreme. Those who hear my words of truth and who come to the waters of everlasting life. Now I shall tell thee of the end of wisdom. When a man knows this, he goes beyond death. It is Brahman, beginningless, supreme, beyond what is and beyond what is not. His hands and feet are everywhere. He has heads and mouths everywhere. He sees all, he hears all. He is in all, and he is. The light of consciousness comes to him through infinite powers of perception, and yet he is above all these powers. He is beyond all, and yet he supports all. He is beyond the world of matter, and yet he has joy in this world. He is invisible, he cannot be seen. He is far, and he is near. He moves, and he moves not. He is within all, and he is outside all. He is one in all, but it seems as if he were many. He supports all beings. From him comes destruction, and from him comes creation. He is the light of all lights which shines beyond all darkness. It is vision, the end of vision, to be reached by vision, dwelling in the heart of all. I have told thee briefly what is the field, what is wisdom, and what is the end of man's vision. When a man knows this, he enters into my being. freedom from fear, purity of heart, constancy in sacred learning and contemplation, generosity, self-harmony, adoration, study of the scriptures, austerity, righteousness, non-violence, truth, freedom from anger, renunciation, serenity, aversion to fault-finding, sympathy for all beings, peace from greedy cravings, gentleness, modesty, steadiness, energy, forgiveness, fortitude, purity, a good will, freedom from pride, these are the treasures of the man who is born for heaven. Deceitfulness, insolence and self-conceit, anger and harshness and ignorance. These belong to a man who is born for hell. The virtues of heaven are for liberation, but the sins of hell are the chains of the soul. Grieve not, for heaven is thy final end. There are two natures in this world. The one is of heaven, the other of hell. The heavenly nature has been explained. Hear now of the evil of hell. Evil men know not what should be done, or what should not be done. Purity is not in their hearts, nor good conduct, nor truth. They say, this world has no truth, no moral foundation, no God. There is no law of creation. What is the cause of birth but lust? Firm in this belief, these men of dead souls, of truly little intelligence, undertake their work of evil. They are the enemies of this fair world, working for its destruction. They torture their soul with insatiable desires, and full of deceit, insolence, and pride. They hold fast their dark ideas, and they carry on their impure work. Thus they are beset with innumerable cares which last long, all their life until death. Their highest aim is sensual enjoyment, and they firmly think that this is all. They are bound by hundreds of vain hopes. Anger and lust is their refuge, and they strive by unjust means to amass wealth for their own cravings. I have gained this today, and I shall attain this desire. This wealth is mine, and that shall also be mine. I have slain that enemy, and others also shall I slay. I am a lord. I enjoy life. I am successful, powerful, and happy. I am wealthy and of noble birth. Who else is there like me? I shall pay for religious rituals. I shall make benefactions. I shall enjoy myself. Thus they say in their darkness of delusion. astray by many wrong thoughts, entangled in the net of delusion, enchained to the pleasures of their cravings, they fall down into a foul hell. In their haughtiness of vainglory, drunk with the pride of their wealth, they offer their wrong sacrifices for ostentation against divine law. In their chains of selfishness and arrogance, of violence and anger and lust, these malignant men hate me. They hate me in themselves and in others. In the vast cycles of life and death, I inexorably hurl them down to destruction. These, the lowest of men, cruel and evil, whose soul is hate. Reborn in a lower life, in darkness, birth after birth, they come not to me, but they go down the path of hell. 3 are the gates to this hell, the death of the soul. The gate of lust, the gate of wrath, and the gate of greed. Let a man shun the 3. When a man is free from these 3 doors of darkness, he does what is good for his soul, and then he enters the path supreme. God dwells in the heart of all beings. Thy God dwells in thy heart, and his power of wonder moves all things, puppets in a play of shadows, whirling them onwards on the stream of time. Go to him for thy salvation with all thy soul, victorious man. By his grace thou shalt obtain the peace supreme, thy home of eternity. I have given thee words of vision and wisdom more secret than hidden mysteries. Ponder them in the silence of thy soul, and then in freedom do thy will. Hear again my word supreme, the deepest secret of silence. Because I love thee well, I will speak to thee words of salvation. Give thy mind to me, and give me thy heart, and thy sacrifice, and thy adoration. This is my word of promise. Thou shalt in truth come to me, for thou art dear to me. Leave all things behind, and come to me for thy salvation. I will make thee free from the bondage of sins. Fear no more. These things must never be spoken to one who lacks self-discipline, or who has no love, or who does not want to hear, or who argues against me. But he who will teach this secret doctrine to those who have love for me, and who himself has supreme love, he in truth shall come unto me. For there can be no man among men who does greater work for me, nor can there be a man on earth who is dearer to me than he is. He who learns in contemplation the holy words of our discourse, the light of his vision is his adoration. This is my truth. And he who only hears but has faith, and in his heart he has no doubts, he also attains liberation and the worlds of joy of righteous men. Hast thou heard these words in the silent communion of thy soul? Has the darkness of thy delusion been dispelled by thine inner light? Has the darkness of thy delusion been dispelled by thine inner light?
In tonight's program, we heard excerpts from the glory of Sanskrit literature, the Bhagavad Gita, Song of the Lord. The words of Lord Krishna from chapters 7, 12, 13, 16, and 18 were narrated by Michel Habib. The translation into English was by Juan Mascaro, published by Penguin Classics.